The drifting debris field of Zerath Station was silent except for the hum of my salvage ship, the Rustwing. I had been crawling through these fields for years, pulling scraps from abandoned cargo vessels, mining derelict hulls for parts to sell. To most, I was insignificant, a faceless scavenger eking out a living on the edges of the galaxy. Until the day everything changed. It began as a routine job. I scanned a wreck, half buried in floating asteroids, and prepared to board. The hull was cracked, but intact enough for me to enter safely. As I floated inside, tethers securing my suit, I noticed signs of recent activity, scorch marks from plasma weapons, the faint scent of burnt coolant, and a single, tiny figure huddled in the shadows. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dim light, violet and sharp, scanning me with instinctual caution. I froze. She was the galaxy's deadliest warrior, a living legend whispered about across systems, an alien known simply as Chilera, the warlord of Virex Prime. Stories of her victories, her cunning, and her merciless combat skills filled every corner of interstellar military archives. And here she was, trapped in a derelict scrap ship, alone, exhausted, and human in her vulnerability. I hovered in disbelief. My first thought was to back away, vanish into the asteroid field, and pretend I hadn't seen her. But something about her, the fierce intelligence, the weariness in her posture, the subtle trust in her eyes, made me stay. "I'm not here to hurt you," I said, voice echoing through the ship's empty corridors. Her head tilted slightly. She didn't speak. She never needed to. Her reputation alone was enough to send most beings scrambling. Yet now, there was something different, desperation. I realized, in that moment, that I had stumbled into a story no one would ever believe, and one I was about to be part of. The first few days were tense. Chilera was wary, constantly assessing me, her reflexes sharp as blades. Every movement, every gesture, screamed of someone trained to survive battles that had claimed entire fleets. I, in contrast, was just a salvage pilot. My life had been a series of careful calculations, not combat. Yet, necessity forged trust faster than years of diplomacy could. I repaired her armor, scavenged energy cells to power her weapons, and rigged life support systems in the Rustwing. She watched, silently judging every action. The first time I fired a weapon at a drifting drone sent to scout the wreck, she flinched, but not in fear. She flinched at my method, the inaccuracy, the hesitation. "You hesitate," she said finally, her voice low, controlled. "Hesitation gets people killed." "I don't usually fight people like you," I replied, trying to mask the nervousness in my voice. She studied me for a long moment, then nodded slightly. "Then I'll teach you." And she did. Days turned into weeks. Chilera trained me in zero-gravity combat, teaching me to anticipate movements, read enemy patterns, and think like a warrior. Her methods were brutal, but effective. I learned to wield weapons I had only salvaged before, to think several steps ahead, and to survive when the odds were impossible. In return, I offered her what she had lost in the battlefield, a sense of security. On the Rustwing, we were equals, not warlord and peon, but partners, each relying on the other for survival. She trusted me to make decisions in her absence, and I trusted her to guide me in moments of danger. The first real test came when we detected a Xylarian patrol in the sector, a fleet tasked with hunting her down. They were more than legends, they were the hunters of the legendary warlord of Virex Prime. Chilera's eyes glinted with steel. "They think they can take me?" she asked. "They'll try," I said, checking the weapons array I had jury-rigged. The battle was chaotic. I piloted the Rustwing through debris fields and asteroid belts, dodging plasma fire and missile barrages. Chilera moved with lethal precision, disabling enemy drones with a flick of her energy blade. Every maneuver she taught me was put to the test, every tactic we had devised in our small, battered ship now applied in real time. For the first time, I felt what it was like to fight alongside someone whose reputation filled entire star systems. Yet I also realized that legends are only as strong as the people beside them. Without me, Chilera would have been overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Without her, I would have been crushed by fear and inexperience. We survived. Barely. The patrol retreated, battered and humiliated, leaving us drifting in the silence of space. She turned to me then, her expression unreadable, yet softening just slightly. "You are stronger than I thought," she said. "I'm still learning," I admitted. "Then we will continue," she said. "Together." The bond formed in that moment was more than survival, it was trust, respect, and the kind of partnership that legends are built on. Climax. Weeks later, we uncovered a hidden Xylarian weapons cache in a derelict shipyard. This was no ordinary salvage, it was a facility capable of supplying an entire fleet with advanced plasma cannons and armored drones. Kylyra's eyes lit with determination. "This is it," she said. "If we take this, we shift the balance of power in the sector." I hesitated. Attacking a fortified facility with minimal resources was suicide. But she had already calculated every move. "Follow my lead," she said simply. The assault was a ballet of chaos and precision. I piloted the Rust Wing, dodging automated defenses while Kylyra led boarding teams into the heart of the facility. She moved like shadow and fire, her combat prowess evident in every strike. Yet I noticed something subtle. She paused once, just long enough for me to act, trusting me to execute the critical move that would disable the central defense array. I did. The facility fell into our control. The weapons and resources were ours. And in that moment, I realized the truth. I hadn't just survived alongside her, I had become an integral part of her legend. The galaxy didn't know it yet, but our partnership had already changed the rules. Kylyra looked at me then, a rare smile breaking across her face. "You are no longer just a salvage pilot," she said. "You are my equal. My partner." I swallowed, heart pounding. I never imagined this. "Neither did I," she admitted. "But this is stronger than legend." Ending. The aftermath of the mission was quiet, almost peaceful. We returned to the Rust Wing, our small ship now a symbol of something greater than survival. News of the Xylarian facility's capture spread across the sector, and whispers began, a human and the galaxy's deadliest warrior, partners who defied expectations, who rewrote the stories of war and legend. Kylyra stood at the bridge, eyes scanning the void, her armor still gleaming with battle scars. I joined her silently. We didn't need words. Our partnership had been forged in the crucible of survival, in the fires of battle, in the quiet moments of trust. "Do you regret trusting me?" I asked quietly. She tilted her head, a faint smile forming. "I didn't trust you," she said. "I depended on you. And you did not fail." I nodded, realizing the weight of her words. Dependence, trust, partnership, this was more than survival. This was legendary. Together, we plotted a course through the stars, two figures in a galaxy that had underestimated both of us. From a scrap ship in the debris fields to a legendary partnership that would reshape interstellar history, our story was only beginning. The galaxy didn't know it yet, but when they did, they would learn that even the deadliest warrior cannot stand alone, and even the humblest pilot can change the fate of countless worlds. And as the Rust Wing drifted into the unknown, engines humming, stars streaking past, I knew one thing for certain: legends aren't built by individuals alone, they are forged in partnership, trust, and the courage to survive together.